All right. Welcome back. We're back, baby. We're back. With a new name, too.
With a new name.
New brand. I am, too. I don't like how it digs into my neck.
So,
How you been?
we see each other just about
Every other week.
Every other week, yeah. So, let's see. It's been about 3 or 4 months since we've done this channel.
Has it been that long?
It's been 3 or 4 months. It's been a while.
Damn. Lots of stuff to talk about.
Lots of stuff. The last time we did it, it was 3 weeks before the Superman trailer dropped. We have a lot to talk about. So I guess what we do, we're World's Finest now.
We have switched names.
It may be a little bit goofy, but way better than KO Productions, because that just was not it in hindsight.
I think World's Finest can work.
World's Finest can work until we get copyrighted after this movie. Well, all right, for our 16 viewers, subscribers, whatever. Let's. So actually, what I thought I did have something I'd like to talk about.
Let's hear it.
Me and you have both read a lot, and I think our favorite characters have changed a lot.
Drastically. Did we go over our favorite?
We did.
I haven't watched. I don't know what I have on my original list.
Me and Owen both have been reading comics a lot, I'd say.
We've been diving into things that we're not as well versed into, learning about new people.
Well,
top 10, top 5.
You
just want to list them off real quick?
Just list off characters that have been eye-opening for you. I'll let you go.
I'm going to say Aquaman. I don't remember if I had him in my original one.
I put him on that.
Jeff Johns is goated. That run is like the sole reason why I even enjoy Aquaman. You have a pretty out of left field one too.
Yeah, Wonder Woman. I started reading George Perez's run on Wonder Woman.
Do you recommend?
Absolutely. It's really good. It's I thought to myself, I was like, well, since it's been a while, I'll just go over this. After the Superman trailer, which I think we can both collectively agree looks awesome.
Really good.
Really, really solid.
I'm excited.
After the Superman trailer, for some reason I just had this kick to get into DC a lot. And if anyone who's been watching us, the 3 or 2 videos that we've done, I could say, at least about myself, that we talked more about how we were into Marvel at the time.
I mean, the MCU was in its prime when we were growing up, so it was hard not to be obsessed with Marvel.
Yeah. But to me, I think after that Superman trailer job, we both had a thing to get into DC more.
I think we started a little bit before the Superman trailer. I think I can't pinpoint when, but maybe the Absolute Universe is when I really start. Maybe for me. I don't know.
For me, it was probably the Superman trailer. I didn't really care much for DC, honestly, until then. But then, anyway, yeah, Wonder Woman is up there for me.
She's on the Mount Rushmore of superheroes.
For you, like Aquaman, and you also started reading Blue Beetle.
Yeah, I had already read. I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now. I had already read one of Blue Beetle's runs, probably almost like a year ago now. Whenever we went to, was it Beyond?
Mm-hmm.
That's when I first started getting into Blue Beetle. But yeah, I had never, been super into Blue Beetle. When it came to DC, it was like I really only had Batman and I kind of wanted to expand like you are, learn more characters, learn about them.
Mhm. I'd say my top DC characters as of now are Wonder Woman, um,
Well, wait, your top DC characters or your top overall
just DC characters, like
DC?
characters that I've had different experiences reading now. I've um, gone into Mike Grell's Green Arrow as well as the ongoing right now of with Joshua Williamson and Chris Condon. Um, so Green Arrow, Kyle Rayner, and Wonder Woman are my top DCs for right now. But what about you?
Batman. Batman's still going to be number one. Probably Batman, Aquaman, Blue Beetle. Aquaman's just a little bit higher over Blue Beetle because I just read his new on, or I just got caught up with Aquaman's new ongoing.
Jeremy Johns or something?
Jeremy Adams,
Jeremy
I
Adams
believe.
or something. Yeah.
Really good, really good stuff. Part of the All In initiative.
I think I definitely think that our tastes have changed since then. Um it's kind of wild to hear that Aquaman. I would never have pictured you'd be an Aquaman fan, to be honest, but
I mean,
Aquaman's cool.
yeah. When you get to when you like, I mean, he's kind of like a he's like a he's a badass.
Mm-hmm.
He's a ruler of a kingdom, so you know there's a lot of weight to that, and I fuck with that. Fuck with royalty.
No view. I used to think the same thing. Like I was reading Jeff Johns' run when I recommended it to him, and yeah, honestly, I used to think the same thing. I was like, a guy, not even a guy who could talk to fish. Like people are like say that about Aquaman, but like honestly, just like a guy who rolls over Atlantis. I used to be like, okay, whatever. But like,
Well, literally, like even like in the first couple of pages of Jeff John's thing, like he straight up just explained because Aquaman doesn't really like talk to fish. He like controls them. He
mm-hmm,
doesn't like talk to them. He like, but yeah, I literally like you lent me that run, and I read it all the way through, and then I went and got my own copy so I could read it again.
mm-hmm.
I really like that. I really like that run.
Jeff Johns is up there
Top
for
10
you.
for sure. I would like to. I'm not a big Green Lantern guy, but I've heard good things about his Green Lantern stuff. So maybe I will get into that, but I wouldn't count on it
I heard that's like top 5 DC runs ever.
because that's like the is that the Blackest Night?
Yeah, stuff with Blackest Night and
I've heard that's like
Brightest Day.
one of the like well regarded DC stories.
Yeah. Well, I guess we can just talk about whatever.
I mean, most recent would be the Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah. So I'm just I don't want this to just be me all talking, but I
Oh
want you to
yeah,
pitch in too. But like for me, as of recently, I've been getting more fed up with Marvel, with every single thing that feels like they're announcing. Like to me, I used to go see stuff opening day with Marvel. I skipped out on the Marvels. Didn't watch Brave New World. Didn't watch Agatha. Haven't watched Miss Marvel. Haven't watched even Spider-Man freshman year, which I heard is actually good.
that's what
Um,
I've heard too. I've heard people saying it's the best animated Spider-Man show, which I always thought that Spectacular was the best one,
I haven't even watched that, which just
which is
shows like,
insane.
you know, I haven't watched that, which even goes to show like Spider-Man is my favorite character on Basic, but I just my me caring for the MCU and Marvel just keeps declining with everything and even the multiverse stuff. But what about you? How's your feelings on the MCU so far?
um, I mean, Daredevil Born Again. That's like a whole nother thing that we need to get into about how
Yeah,
we feel about that. But that is Daredevil Born Again definitely has helped me kind of still stay in the fight with Marvel. But I did go see Brave New World. I It's not the best Captain America movie, and it's not like one of the best Marvel movies, but it was a good watch. I enjoyed it. Um, but yeah, as
Would you rewatch it again?
I would probably rewatch it again, but it wouldn't be like on my list of rewatches as far as like movies go. Like Iron Man, the Batman, um, Goodwill Hunting, movies like that, like stuff where I like want to rewatch them. But
Is it like I heard that it's from a lot of people it's like Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which is a decent movie.
I would put it on the same level as Multiverse of Madness for me. It's better than Ant Man Quantum Mania for sure. Um, excuse me. Ugh, beer burp.
Just
Um,
drinking garage
having a
beer.
cold one. Um, but especially like with the Doomsday stuff, I don't have a lot of faith. We've talked about it before. I think we talked about it in a previous episode. But the only thing that we're, or at least that I'm hyped for, as far as Marvel goes, is Fantastic Four.
Mm.
That's kind of like the straw that'll break the camel's back. If that movie sucks, then I don't know if I can. I'm still obviously going to show up and watch those, like Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars, and I'll probably show up for the other movies that come out. But I really want Fantastic Four to be good because I'm leaning more towards DC. I'm kind of more excited for Superman and James Gunn's universe.
It's fair enough. He already knows my well. When I saw the Doomsday cast announcement, I know people. I posted this on my TikTok, so it's whatever. I'm not trying to be different or anything, but this is generally how I've felt. Just the multiverse thing is getting so old. Like it's one thing, in my opinion, it's one thing to do the multiverse good, like in No Way Home. At the end of the movie, Tom's character has changed. He's completely on his own stuff. Deadpool and Wolverine, while it was a fun watch and stuff, at the end of the day, nothing really happened. You kind of just saw Wolverine back in his yellow in the yellow fit, which was badass. But like, still, it's a fun turn your brain off watch movie to me. And it's just like I have no faith in Doomsday. Um,
There's so much you have to, because in the you've read the have you've read like all the events leading up to Secret Wars?
uh, kind of, yeah. So right now I'm in a Marvel reading list of everything leading up to Secret Wars. I started at Civil War, and then I went to um, or I started at Avengers Disassembled to Civil War, then Secret Invasion, Siege, uh, Dark Reign, and right now I'm reading Fantastic Four by Hickman, and then I'll read his Avengers and then Secret Wars. But overall, I kind of have the gist of everything.
But you see how much like in
There's no
in
build up.
comics there's so much
Yeah,
build up. Like that's how many you just listed off, like
5 different events.
5 different events,
Yeah,
5 different runs of stories and character building that leads up to Secret Wars. We have this movie that's going to be like Spider-Man 4 is going to be in between it and Doomsday. That's all that's been announced.
yeah. So it's like Doomsday, Spider-Man 4, and then Secret Wars.
Oh, and I guess, well, Fantastic Four
Yeah,
would also be in, and that would be from now till Secret Wars eventually comes out. But
Thunderbolts too, but like you don't really know.
that's another thing too. Kind of, well, kind of on topic, kind of on off topic with the casting reveals and stuff for Avengers Doomsday. I don't need to see Thunderbolts anymore because I know half of them survive.
That's another thing. Yeah, they literally just
They're
spoiled
all
it.
like, except for Taskmaster, I think was the only person from the cast that wasn't one of the chairs. So we
So
know, I guess she's dead.
yeah, it's just like I don't. And then did you see that like Absolute Cinema thing they posted with the Thunderbolts? Did you see that on YouTube? It was like absolute. They posted it like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's called Absolute Cinema or something, and it was like listing off all the credits from like different movies and stuff like that.
Uh-uh.
and it was like the
Marvel
right,
posted it.
yeah, it was like the writers of Beef and the editors of like
Oh,
freaking
okay.
like,
I did see that. I did see that.
yeah, and I was like, okay, this actually makes me hype,
Beef's a good show.
and then it was like, oh well, we just spoiled it for you, so
I mean, I kind of figured that that was going to be low key. I was kind of thinking it was going to be a power of friendship type movie because Sentry's probably going to be an important part of the next couple Avengers movies.
yeah.
There's no way they're going to kill him or anything. They were never going to kill him to begin with. He's Superman of the Marvel universe, but like, what do you
Well,
get hyped? And I mean, okay, they did announce the return of Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart, James Marsden, the original Cyclops, Alan Cumming, the
I'm not
original
hyped for
Nightcrawler.
any of that.
They're all old. They're
Yeah,
way too old to be doing this.
that's what I agree. Although someone made a good point in my TikTok that they could use stunt doubles, but at the same time, it's like, see, it's like, it's just to me,
It's going to be a lot of CGI probably too.
I like those old X-Men movies, but they were never something that I actually was like, I don't know. To me, I feel like I'm gonna get a multiverse of madness type of thing where it's gonna be like, there's there's just no way with no build up, right? No build up, no way you're gonna each of these characters are gonna get more than like 2 minutes of screen
Well,
time.
you have to like. I saw a post, like a throwback post, kind of. You remember when Infinity War first came out and they revealed like how much like
Screen time and
screen
stuff.
time each character had?
Yeah.
That was a pretty lengthy cast. There was a lot of people in that movie, like all the Guardians, almost all the Avengers, a couple other mismatched characters.
Hmm.
I think the least amount of time a character got was maybe like 3 or 2 minutes, and that was like a total of, like oddballing probably like 20 characters. This movie, just in what they announced, which they're probably going to announce more, they're probably keeping some secret. There was like
No Strange, no Hulk,
no
no
Strange,
Marvel,
no
no
Hulk,
Spider
no
Man.
Spider Man, none of those big, like the big important characters of the MCU.
Hmm.
There was like 20 plus shares.
I
You're
think
telling me
they
that each
counted
of
like
those characters are going to get
23 or
like
27,
20,
something like that.
27?
27, almost 30.
You see what I mean though? That is a
It's too much.
that's too much character. Like
And
they're gonna like walk on the screen, wave at the screen, say a funny line, and then they're gonna die or they're gonna walk off the screen, or we're never gonna see them
the
again.
thing that I get, and if people are like
The
Avengers
thing,
versus, huh?
the thing.
Oh yeah, the event. They're like Avengers versus X-Men and stuff. That sounds cool on the surface level, but it's like,
That's not what the movie's about. It's Doom.
yeah, I don't know. It's just like I
I
they
actually have a question for you as a Doom fan. Do you think that this is gonna be like a because Infinity War Thanos was the main character, obviously, like he had the most screen time, probably the most development. Do you think Doomsday is going to be like a Doom focused story? Like, do you think Doom's going to be like I mean, he probably will have a lot of screen time. Do you think he's going to be like the main focus?
no.
Why?
Everyone keeps saying this, and it kind of pisses me off. They're like Thanos had really no development and stuff, but there was the development of the stones. He had two post-credit scenes, and he also had like 5 minutes, like 5-10 minutes of screen time in the Guardians of the Galaxy. You got a feel for what his personality was like. You kind of knew what he was going for once he got the Infinity
You
Gauntlet.
knew he was a threat.
Yeah.
Like, you knew of him.
If this was King, I'd be completely different, but they're shoehorning Doom in. I guarantee you we might get like a teaser at most of Doom in the Fantastic Four movie.
It's probably a given.
But like at the end, you know what I think was going to happen?
Hmm.
I don't think RDJ is going to be our Doom. I think that if I recall, they said he's doing the role for Doomsday. They didn't say Secret Wars.
Well, they haven't announced a whole lot for Secret Wars because that's like so far away, but
Either way, I just like I guess I might go see it, but like at the end of the day, I just feel like this is gonna be more of a while Infinity War was like a hype type of thing where you're watching it on the edge of your seat and stuff.
Infinity War was like a once in a lifetime. Like, I feel like that's impossible to replicate the success of that movie.
It also feels like the Russo bros don't have any heart in it. Have you seen any
Well,
interview?
so that's my like that's why I'm kind of on and off about it because, or as far as Secret Wars go, I don't know about Doomsday, but according the Russo brothers, the Secret Wars is like their favorite comic book of all time. It's like what got them into comics.
Hmm.
So that's what a lot of people are like. Oh, well, that's gonna be like if it's their favorite comic. Well, plenty of directors pick up movies that it's their favorite thing, and the movie still sucks.
Yeah. I did saw a cool theory though.
Lay it on me.
So you know how in Thunderbolts everyone's getting shadowed and stuff, and they're like there is no Avengers and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize until I started reading the Black Suit Saga for Spider-Man, my omnibus, then the original Secret Wars, most of the heroes, other than like the small time like heroes like Daredevil and Punisher and stuff, get whisked away to Battle World. What
Do you
if?
think that's why the cast is not as
Well, maybe that explains like why there are no other heroes. Stop seeing
Oh,
fucking
that's why we have
Sentry.
like Falcon and shit like that instead of like Spider Man and Doctor Strange. Is that what you're saying? You think like they got whisked away to Battle World?
No, I think in like Thunderbolts, that's why you have the Thunderbolts and like not Spider Man or like anyone else like Doctor Strange who literally live in New York. I feel like it'd be almost impossible. You can say like, oh, it's their movie and stuff, but like you're telling me someone's gonna be shadowing stuff and Strange popped up in Thor 3 when he found
And
out Loki
Spider Man and
when Loki was there. You're telling me, I mean, yeah, he ran off with Klee or whatever, but like you're telling me no one's answering that? Seeing someone literally in shadow dust people? Like
like
Power of Friendship, movie.
we talked about it too. Another thing that like kill is like that kills Marvel for us a little bit that we've realized that DC is kind of a lot better at their world. DC Marvel 90% of their stories take place in New York City.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are good Marvel stories that take place in New York City. A lot of Spider-Man comics are like very well received, Daredevil. But like you're telling me the Avengers, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, most of the Defenders, the Fantastic Four, like all those characters are all based in New York and it's not the safest place on earth. Like we've talked about that. DC has like Batman works in Gotham. Gotham has its own like vibe. Superman has Metropolis. That has
Own
like its
vibe.
own vibe. Wonder Woman has
Paradise.
Paradise. She has Themyscira too. But doesn't she operate does she operate in a city? Or is she's just from Themyscira?
Kinda depends. Like, yeah, she kinda operates around the world.
And like Flash has Central City. Uh I forget what Green Arrow Star City is Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Green Arrow Star City. All those it's all these different
Coast City is Green Lantern
yeah. They're all, I mean they're all cities, but they all have
vibe.
their own vibe and uniqueness to it. Whereas
Yep.
Marvel, it's just like here's New York, Asgard's cool, but like I don't know.
I mean, they have
That's how we
some
feel.
stuff like Latveria and Wakanda and I guess Krakoa, but like other than that, and and Doom is a heart isn't is only used like every now and then. Wakanda, like I guess has been a good big player, but like other than that, like Wakanda really only feels like the only like fictional cool place. I don't know.
I mean Asgard's cool too, but like
You know what? Oh, you go ahead.
no, that's all I was gonna say. Asgard's
I was
cool.
gonna say, something that's also been kind of killing me.
Hmm.
Why does every hero have to have a nano helmet?
Okay, see, we've had this
It's one thing to
discussion
be a helmet.
before.
Okay, Ant Man,
Okay, Ant Man doesn't need one. I agree. But hey, Daredevil doesn't have one.
finally.
Um, I've I don't mind the nanotech stuff. I mean, I think for Black Panther it makes sense because they're the most
Technologically advanced.
technologically advanced society. Tony should definitely Iron Man should definitely have nanotech stuff. Ant Man, I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. But like, who's a good example of a character who had nanotech? The Sam Wilson's Captain America doesn't really need nanotech. I get like in the movie they explain because he gets like Wakanda tech from them, and that's why. But like, he doesn't need a nanotech suit. He doesn't really even need a mask. He's got the cool like visor
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Um, Speaking of Daredevil, you want to get into Born Again? I'll let you
Peak.
go.
It's as somebody who I got onto the Daredevil hype. I mean, I like Daredevil. But as far as like the Netflix show and stuff, I got onto that train a little later than most people. I didn't watch it when it was coming out. It's probably been like a couple years since I last watched it. But um, when they announced Daredevil Born Again, I was kind of scared because that was Daredevil's season 1 through 3 was so good, and I like Disney's track record and Marvel's track record. Like I was so worried that the show was going to be buns. It's not buns. It's the best Marvel thing that's come out in the past like since No Way Home, in my opinion.
I agree.
It's so good.
I got into Daredevil through Brian Michael Bendis and Ed Brubaker's run, that whole like 100 issues of it, and that hooked me on a Daredevil. Daredevil was almost in the same regions for me as like Wonder Woman, where I was like, cool, I guess. Like,
He's
I don't really
blind.
see the appeal of him as a guy who just can hear better than most or whatever. And no.
There's so
He's
much more to it than that.
badass. He's bad, and his character, and he has a good supporting cast.
The drama in it too. I like the court, like the lawyer, uh, like the cases and stuff. Part of
Yeah,
the Netflix show. I
I
love
agree.
that stuff.
I agree. We were talking about this. I was scared because I heard on reports that they're like he doesn't even put on the suit until like episode 5, halfway through the season. I was like, that's not like good and stuff and everything. The build up, totally worth it. When he
I
says "F
need
it,"
I need that his the I know you don't like it the his like homemade suit that he wears in the Netflix show. I need that. Marvel, please, I need that. It is such a good suit.
I think it's all right, but I just prefer Daredevil in the classic red. But
I do too, but he doesn't have the double D's yet on his chest, so
yeah, otherwise, give me your thoughts
I mean, they
on.
really went. You know, when they like the past couple of projects, when they're like, we're like, it's going to be a darker kind of feel to, you know, like what I'm talking about. Like Multiverse of Madness, they said it was going to be a little bit
Moon
darker.
Knight, they said it was gonna be
Moon
darker.
Knight. This show, like,
It's dark.
they lean into like it feels like the Netflix show.
I agree.
Like the violence, like you're hearing bones break, you're seeing blood, you're seeing he put well spoiler alert I guess kind of he pushed Bullseye off a building in the first episode and he just like slams on a foggy dies gets
I need
shot.
an explanation on how Bullseye survived that, but
I do too. I mean in the comics Bullseye's got but he's got
yeah,
the skeleton but they never established that in the Netflix show. I'm not sure so but yeah I really like the action the yeah.
I think um so far what they've done with it is um this is just coming out of episode 5 and 6 too,
Mm-hmm.
but this whole build up has been amazing. I just talked with you about this before we started recording. I think that the this show has honestly been, first off, a fresh breath of air for what's going on in the MCU street right now. Like everything, I feel like every single movie has been a world-ending thing.
Yeah, it's not
Basically,
like it doesn't actually feel like a street level story.
this feels like a street level story, which is what I've been craving forever. Um, but also this show has done wonders connecting the MCU, which is what the MCU has been desperately needing. Like we finally got like stuff on Kamala Khan,
She's
um,
in California.
assembling Young Avengers probably. Um, Bullseye, Kingpin, just like
The
everything.
Swords Master too. I don't know
Swords
if you
Master,
watched
yeah, I
the
forgot
from
about that.
Hawkeye.
Um, it's just like small stuff and everything. It's just like The action's really good. The dialogue is really good. The whole like little arc there with White Tiger, and now we have the setup for young White Tiger, the girl.
Is it the White Tiger like from? Do you remember that Spider-Man? Was it
Ultimate
Ultimate
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man?
Yeah,
Is
that's
that what they're like building up to?
that's the
Is
girl,
that's the
Liz or
girl
whatever her name is. Yeah,
or Ayala or whatever her name? I
yeah,
forget her name.
that's her.
That's who the White Tiger is in the
That's
show.
her.
That'd be pretty cool. I like White
So,
Tiger.
and what's so crazy? I think I told you this too. Is this show feels so grounded that when I forgot that guy had the magical amulet, it just kind of felt off putting because I was like, wait a second, I forgot this is in the same universe with flying hammers and metal disc and a guy swinging off buildings.
Like things can happen.
Yeah, so just like this show's just been a wonder, and it's really gotten the core of Matt down. Um,
It's
I
like
was
we talked about earlier because we talked about how like in Marvel Comics it seems like the only character who seems to like grow and evolve
is
is
Daredevil.
Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
And his show, he's still growing and evolving. He doesn't, which is amazing. It just proves that Daredevil's like he's up there. He's got to be considered one of the greats of Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I forgot what I was gonna say. It was something that you said. Shit. Continue.
I think the Daredevil is the only one. I mean, that's another thing that's turned me off from Marvel a lot. Um, at least in the comics, is no one really progresses, kind of, other than Daredevil. It feels like, and really, honestly, it's just like kind of shown here too. Like Daredevil is still progressing. There was what I think in this show, it's now been like 2 years or something since he put on the suit.
That's what it was.
It was like 2 years or whatever, and he's you can still see he's kind of sloppy in his fighting, but like, and Muse already sounds like a threat.
God, that like the most recent episode, episode 6, like that final,
Taking 60 people.
it was so good.
Muse's suit design, by the way, is fire. It's so cool.
Bro's a menace too. Like he's actually like he's weird.
I like that kind of meta commentary type of thing. This gonna sound so film broy of me or whatever. That it's like, I feel like in today's world, there's some people who worship serial killers and stuff and
Yeah,
think that they're hot and everything. When those girls came up to Muse and he just looked at them and basically killed them,
killed him.
it's like that's what would happen in real life.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't really romanticize a person like that, but I mean, I'm not one to speak on that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
We haven't even
otherwise,
talked about the sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
go.
The we talked about this the reintroduction of Punisher back into the Marvel universe.
That scene, top tier dialogue and acting out of the MCU in ages.
It wasn't even a fight scene. It's just two dudes just talking and it's just
When Matt gets so angry, he punches him. And he's like,
it's
"That's
so good.
that's the best thing you've done in like last 2 years. Did Foggy get life and stuff?" That's honestly probably like we talked about this too. I that to me that's like top 10 acting scenes in the MCU.
It's so good.
I think and the did you know in Civil War is probably like
It's got to be
top
top 5 scenes.
yeah.
I mean that scene that the Punisher and Daredevil scene was just like it really expands on how Punisher and Daredevil are basically like two sides of a different coin in
Hmm.
a way. Like they both kind of do the same thing but like have different methods of doing it.
Hmm.
And also like I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the Punisher as a character, but it was nice seeing John Berthal come back and he's a good actor. He can be a good actor and that was a really good scene
When he's in his bag, he's definitely a good
when he's
actor.
in his bag. Although I heard people complaining about cuz he was Punisher was like popping pills and stuff in that scene and Punisher people were complaining about him popping pills. I never watched the show, but I guess it's something to do with that, but I'm not sure about that.
Mm. Uh, I watched season one of Punisher, and it was really solid. I didn't see season two, so I may not know. But also, I didn't realize, but Matt, um, it basically was confirmed that Matt has known where Frank has been living all this time,
Yeah.
which is kind of wild.
Well, actually, no, because remember he followed, didn't he?
He followed where the bullet went,
Where the bullet went.
but he's
That's right. He
known,
just walked to where Frank was staying.
which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, he's Daredevil.
yeah,
He's got super heightened senses. So
which I'm not gonna lie, I'm like heightened senses is a underrated superpower
how they display it in the show too is so good.
when they frame it up and stuff. Yeah,
I
it's
hope they
fire.
do like at some point in the show they do like a radar sense like you see in the comics and stuff where it gets all like
That would be cool.
that would be really fucking cool.
That is another thing I really am ready for in superhero movies. I want them to embrace the campiness at this point, and it seems like Superman's doing that. Like I'm just give it to me. The X-Men, the yellow suits, and the radar sense vibes and all that. Like,
Well, I mean, we had campy superhero movies for a while,
well,
and
yeah, but
then
like now I'm ready for it.
yeah, I am too.
I think you can be serious. I don't think. I feel like for some superhero movies, you got to explain like why. You got to do a whole thing on why Daredevil needs double D's on his chest and stuff.
Yeah,
But like, just have it there. No one's gonna. No one. No, we don't need.
we don't need the armor plating. Like we talked about that, like the weird ass like lines and shit on people's
Yeah, the overlining and the over design.
costumes.
Yeah, but I actually want to talk about one thing since we haven't
We've been kind
gotten a
of going to
chance.
Marvel a little bit.
Yeah. Um, I wanted to ask you about, honestly, your views on um Superman and Fantastic Four,
Um,
the trailers, and what your stance on is on like making and breaking and everything.
I'm definitely more hyped for Superman, unfortunately. Um, I do I like as characters I like the Fantastic more slightly more than Superman. That's just because I haven't really gotten into Superman yet. But you have, I mean, you've read a little bit more Superman than I have.
Hmm.
A lot more. I haven't read a single Superman comic besides All Star Superman, which is good. Um, the Fantastic Four, I'm nervous because Marvel has a terrible track record with the Fantastic Four has a terrible track record with their movies. Um, the original, like the first one from the 2000s, was all right. The sequel to that one sucked, and then Fan Four Stick sucked. Superman, this is like it's a whole new universe. It's under James Gunn, who is like one of my favorite directors. He made some of my favorite comic book movies ever.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good director. Um, this is I'm more into DC right now. I have a lot more faith in DC because James Gunn seems to care about his this project.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you don't see a lot of directors nowadays like kind of like diving into the material and kind of showing how much they like these characters. Um, James Gunn's doing that. All his cast are doing that. Um, David Cornsweet looks and seems like the perfect Superman. I'm all in, as they would say, for Superman. What about you?
I already bought a Superman hoodie as soon as the
Yeah,
trailer came out.
we already knew. We already knew.
Yeah, I was all in as well with
We
Superman.
believe in Gunn.
We believe, and that's no okay. I want to get this out of the way so that we don't have any haters, just in case. In his own right, I think Snyder is a good. I personally do not like Snyder's direction now with the DC. That's one thing. So, as I've read more DC projects, it has occurred to me when I first watched the DCU, I was like, Man of Steel and stuff. I didn't love it, but I liked it. I was like,
It was
pretty
okay.
good. I was like, yeah. Um, Wonder Woman and Batman vs Superman, okay and stuff. But now as I rewatch it, those take heavily from Injustice. Like those
Yep.
characters all act like their Injustice counterparts, and you just like. I think if we had a established DC universe, um, at that point, and if I think okay, but I'm yapping.
No,
I
go
think
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I think Snyder would make a great Elseworlds director in the future. Maybe if he wants to do the Dark Knight Returns and everything.
He basically, I mean, he had all the pieces for that
Yeah,
story with Batman vs Superman.
but to me, actually reading Superman by like Dan Jurgens, old Superman stuff and All Star Superman, reading the old Wonder Woman, reading Paul Dini Batman, and watching the old shows. Um, I just realized those characters don't act at all, really.
Real
Like Batman, I'm sorry, would never. Maybe for Joker, maybe, but would never
kill
brand.
rule?
Huh?
Are you talking about the kill rule?
No, like branding people.
Oh no, I don't think Batman would ever. I don't think Batman would brand someone.
Yeah, like just
We saw
but
that movie together, didn't we?
yes, but the whole thing is just like Snyder is can make for a good Elseworlds, but I just don't think um I think Gunn might fit better for this. But I hope I could be eating my words up because Superman very well could be bad, but to me it just looks like it's I was kind of iffy at first, but as soon excuse me, as soon as I saw Superman save that child.
As no, as soon as that score uh, came in too, was when he's saving the kid. Bum, bum.
Yeah,
I was sold.
for me, it was Superman saving the kid. I was like, when was the last time we saw a superhero genuinely save somebody?
It's in their name. They're superheroes.
Yes, I feel like we just had. I don't remember superheroes saving anybody in like forever, ever.
I couldn't tell you the last couple of Marvel movies haven't been about saving like a person.
Hmm.
It's either saving the universe, saving a city, or just fighting the bad guys.
And everyone, to all the crypto haters, respectfully, fuck you,
He's gonna cook. Crypto's gonna cook.
because that's the thing that I've been wanting. I want campy, serious superhero movies, and this is exactly what it's given me. It looks like it's given me, at
That
least.
scene sold me too. With like injured Superman, like at the beginning of
Crypto,
the trailer.
take me home.
Take me home.
Like
That was so good.
man's best friend right there.
That's something you don't see in comic book movies too.
Hmm.
That's something so bizarre and like
I feel like honestly, as deep as the MCU is in, if this was Superman, they wouldn't have crypto in there. To be
mm-mm,
honest, I don't think they'd have crypto. I mean, they have Cosmo, but that's only because of James Gunn,
right.
and Rocket because of James Gunn. So it's like I just don't think we would have seen that. But Superman, way more hyped for. Fantastic Four. Uh, I'm not sold on the cast yet. Um,
Well, you like Ebon Moss
I like Ebon Moss by
and you
far.
like Vanessa Kirby.
And Vanessa, Pedro and Joseph Quinn. Even though I know Pedro's a good actor, but he's more so like the John Berthal for me. When
Hmm.
when John Berthal is like the screaming war vet, like in Fury and Walking Dead and Punisher, he's in his bag. When Pedro is that guy watching over a child and stuff like a Mandalorian and Last of Us, he's in his bag. So I don't know about Pedro. Joseph Quinn, I've seen him in Stranger Things and
He was in that Quiet Place
The
movie.
Quiet Place, yes. And he's a good actor. I just don't know about how he would pull off um, Human Torch.
To me,
But
he seems too like Joseph Quinn comes off too like shy and
yeah,
introverted to play, but also I mean like his character in Stranger Things was very
Eddie,
outgoing.
yeah.
So maybe he's the only one that I'm not sold on completely. I could get behind Pedro, but like you, I'm behind Ebon and Vanessa Kirby. I think both of them are perfect for that part.
I'm very excited for the period piece.
Hmm.
I like the 60s retro thing. That feels like something Marvel hasn't done. I love that we have sweaters and stuff like those are pretty cool. The one just there's just like with Marvel's track, DC, I have faith in because it's Gunn, and he's shown me he can do TV shows and he can do movies.
The only thing with Gunn though, so real quick, is this movie could also, because Gunn's known for doing like the team movies.
Mm-hmm.
Besides like Peacemaker's a show, but he's really good at making the team movies. If he could make Superman work, then he would like he'd be a great director
Mm-hmm.
because he wouldn't. This isn't a team. This is Superman.
Yeah, my
That's what you're
main
saying.
my main three reasons why I like Superman more is that Warner Bros. Is letting James Gunn do whatever and DC do whatever, so they have no restrictions. You know, PG-13, rated R, whatever. They can go as violent as they want or as soft as they want.
I don't think it should be a very violent movie though.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying
But yeah, yeah, yeah.
they can do the fights however they want. Number two, it's made by Gunn. Number three, it just shows that superheroes are still for saving the little guy and stuff, and I'm glad that we haven't lost track of that.
The trailer
Um,
was so good.
and I hope the next trailer, I'm sure, is going to be even better. And that was this trailer. Also, like Superman fighting kaiju's. Another thing, Superman can get hurt.
He's not invincible. That's another thing. Like, I mean, imagine
Superman's
having this conversation with like us from like 10 years ago.
Huck, or even Huck, our other friend, who thinks Superman's like one of the most boring.
But I mean, we were like that too,
Yeah,
because like the only real like interpretations of Superman we had were like, or like exposures to him were like the Injustice universe,
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel, BVS.
Yeah, where
We
he was
just,
basically impenetrable.
I mean, like you just think that kryptonite like is the only thing that can kick his ass, but like there's more to Superman than just kryptonite.
Yeah, and I don't know. So I'm just really excited for that. Fantastic Four.
There's
And
something there. I have faith, but I'm leaning more
it
towards
looks like it
Superman.
has potential, but I'm not sure yet. Um,
We'll be seeing both of them.
yeah, probably opening day,
Definitely opening day.
but
One of them's got to succeed, right? There's no way. But what if both of them are ass?
if I've already said Fantastic Four isn't good, how can you make me believe? And Fantastic Four seems like one of the only movies Marvel has actually been taking time on. If you can't make if it's not good, I'm not gonna really care for Doomsday.
Fantastic Four is also like it's like one of the core parts of Marvel as a whole.
Superman, if Batman's not good, I'm out of DC.
Well, we're gonna have to wait a while for Batman, which
Yeah.
sucks. But I have faith. I've heard. I mean, the early screen, like the test screenings and stuff for Superman, have been received well and positive. I haven't heard anything bad about. I haven't heard a single bad thing about Superman production.
Mm-hmm.
And I also like how the trailer. I have no idea what the movie's going to be about.
Yeah, I feel like everything with Marvel is
You
leak,
can, you
leak,
can, you
leak,
can.
leak,
Well,
leak.
that and you can also like just from the trailer, you can kind of tell what's gonna like. You can piece together the plot yourself,
Yeah.
and 90% of the time, you're probably right. Superman, no clue. Lex Luthor's in it. Okay, he's probably a villain. There's a giant kaiju now. Okay, Metamorpho's in it. Like there's so many.
Who's the guy in the um plated armor and
Right,
stuff
yeah, the
walking
plated
around?
armor. The Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl and Mr. Terrific. Like, what part do they play?
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea what that movie's gonna be about. And I'm so excited for it.
I'm also excited for Lanterns. That first look at the rings and
That
everything.
was that got me pretty hyped. And I'm not a big Green Lantern guy, but I'll watch it.
Yeah, I like Kyle Chandler. Um,
I think it's weird how they're doing because from what I understand, isn't it like normally John Stewart's like the mentor type figure for the Green Lantern, and then Hal Jordan's like the hotshot rookie.
yeah.
This is gonna be like the opposite apparently, and
Or Hal Jordan, he just doesn't mentor that much.
yeah,
He's like,
like he's younger
yeah.
than John Stewart, and he's not as this one. It's
Yeah.
like they're kind of John Stewart's gonna be like according to the synopsis, John Stewart's gonna be like the recruit, and
Mhm.
Hal Jordan's gonna already be like an established Green Lantern.
That's another thing. I'm just excited to finally get into a more worldwide universe rather than multiverse and everything and all that different stuff. Maybe we might get there in years from time. The only thing that worries me is that apparently Gunn said they now have like a official 6-year plan and stuff. So like the authorities taking a back seat and some other stuff, but I guess I'm still hyped. He also did kind of tease World's Finest a couple
Oh
times.
God, that movie would feed families, or a TV show. I'd rather it be a movie, but
Movie would go hard, but you want to list comic runs you're reading and stuff?
well, I mentioned I'm reading Jeremy Adams' Aquaman. I hope that I'm remembering that right. That's the right um, author. Um, really good. Not the best stuff that I've ever
Mm-hmm.
read, but um, I like what they're doing with Aquaman as a character. And obviously, this all takes place like right after Absolute Power and stuff, and like with Justice League Unlimited, so it's like in tandem. So I really like that. Justice League Unlimited is peak.
Mm-hmm.
If you like the Justice League animated show from like the early 2000s, you're gonna love that comic. Dan Mora is one of the best artists of all time, and it's got Mark Waid, and Mark Waid's always good. Um, Other than that, Ninja Turtles by Jason Aaron is another,
Transformers? Did you
and
already?
Transformers. Oh God, I could talk about Transformers for like another hour. It's so good. You got me onto it, onto Daniel Warren Johnson. Peak. I have a framed issue one up there. You've got one signed by Peter Cullen.
I do. I have issue one signed by
I'm
Peter
very
Cullen.
jealous. I'm very fucking
He
jealous.
held my hand and he said, "Autobots roll out," and I
That's God.
basically like peed my pants. It was so cool.
That's like
Shout out to Peter Cullen.
shout out to Peter Cullen, man. You are an inspiration. Um, yeah, Transformers, Ninja Turtles by Jason Aaron, Aquaman, Justice League Unlimited, um, and that's about it for me right now. Probably gonna be reading Hush. Hush 2 just dropped with Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee.
You said Absolute Martian
I
Manhunter.
am also going to be picking up Absolute Martian Manhunter. That I've heard nothing but good things. I've seen some pictures of the art and it looks awesome.
I do want to tell you, the guy who's writing the Ultimates is the same that's writing.
Yeah, Dennis Camp,
Yeah.
which is weird.
For me right now, I guess my biggest comic book recommendations are Chris Condon's Green Arrow. Um, Green Arrow. I've been reading a lot of old stuff, so I might just shout out George Perez's Wonder Woman, which is solid.
That's my mama.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna edit that out.
it's all good. It's my mama. Love my mama. Shout out moms.
Pussy.
All right.
No,
You're not reading any ongoings. You're reading Transformers too.
I'm reading Transformers. However, I'm kind of like waiting for all of them to come out
And you're gonna get
because
them in trades.
it's very hard for me to remember stuff that goes on month by month basis. I might pick up Amazing Spider-Man by Joe Kelly, but he's the same one who wrote Mary Jane is like a sister to me, so I'm kind of worried about
Oh
that.
hell no. Nah. Is that the guy? Who's the guy that was writing about? Who's doing the Spider-Man stuff that he's like digging up Gwen Stacy?
Joe Kelly.
You want to pick that up?
I'm nervous, but I'll give the first issue a try.
Yeah, Spider-Man digs up dead girlfriends. In
Yeah,
case you guys want to know.
something like that. But I'm just nervous, man. It's just like they're introducing a new villain, and he's like a ghost rider or something. I think it looks like
That's
his
kind of
name's
cool.
his name's Hellgate. He's like a knight from the Middle Ages with like ghost rider powers or something. That looks like kind of cool, but we'll see. We'll see. Um, Overall, I wanted to shout out Ultimate Spider-Man, but it's very slow paced. And the pacing's kind of all over the place. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, Ultimate Universe is kind of losing me a lot.
I haven't picked up like I remember I wanted to get Ultimate Wolverine, but I haven't picked it up, and I haven't read an Ultimates issue since issue 6. Whenever we last
Um, Die is really good, which is a D&D love letter. I love Die. Um, let's see, but ongoings mainly just Transformers, Moon Knight has been solid, although I'm a couple issues behind. But from what I've been reading, it's solid.
Oh, World's Finest too by Mark Waid and
Mhm.
Dan Mora is really good.
Joshua Williamson's Superman is really good too. Um, Overall, it seems like indies are low key kind of doing a little bit better than
Which I
what.
like.
Yeah,
Void Rivals too. You got me onto Void Rivals as well,
Void
and I
Rivals is really
read.
good.
I don't. You had the trade for it. I
I
don't know how
wanted,
many issues it
yeah,
collected, but I want to read that.
I wanted to read GI Joe,
GI Joe is really good. I read issue one. I've been thinking about getting back into it. Issue one was really good.
but yeah, I think
I think that's
you want
about
to
it.
end it there.
Yeah. Oh, also, the Birds won the bowl.
Birds won the ball,
Go
baby.
Birds, baby.
Go Birds. I'm glad you mentioned that.
We them dogs.
That's crazy that they were able to do that, but we're definitely not making it to the Super Bowl with everyone
Have
we've already
faith. Have
lost.
faith. We'll be there next year.
As much as I'm a Birds fan, I think it's the Bills or the Lions' time to shine with what they've been put through.
I don't know if the Bill or if the Lions are going to be able to do what they did this year, like they did
Well, yeah,
last
it's
year.
fair. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I like the Eagles. I think the Eagles definitely have a chance. All their crew are great and young.
Maybe Lamar will get a ring.
Lamar. No.
No, no
No,
ring
no,
for
no.
Ravens fans. No, that ain't happening.
Honestly, someone else I'd kind of want to well, never mind. But
Hmm.
I just don't. I don't want to, Joe Burrow.
Oh yeah, Joe Burrow's
I
a.
didn't know this, but Joe Burrow is a big Star Wars fan, and he's also
Did
a
you
big
see?
Batman
I was gonna
fan.
say, bro bought the. He's got the Tumblr.
Batmobile.
Yeah, bro might be that guy.
I think he also still lives with his parents.
Well, we have something in common. He makes a lot more money than us, but
Yeah, but all right. This is the world's finest, and
signing off.
signing off.